Detroit, baby. We out here. You see what's going on. We activated. We ain't playing no games.
So in terms of the team, do you currently have like a solidified team, or do you just kind of like, just go for, like maybe just some of your close friends that's in the same field?
No. So I have a solidified team. So it's me, Carlos, Luis, and now I just added my producer Carmen. What a producer does is like, she basically gets everything together for me. So if I'm like, hey, I need this, I need to find this and that, that's her job. I used to do that myself,
right?
But
and
now
I can only imagine that.
Yeah,
that's so
long.
That
so she's like alleviated a lot of stress from
true,
me. You know? But I still help
Shout
her
out
out.
to Carmen, man.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
I still help her out, but like, it's a lot easier when I can, because I had so when it comes to like doing that, if I have a team that can handle certain things while I'm busy doing other shit, and I trust them that it's gonna get handled, I don't gotta worry about shit. Because the next day I'm like, all right, bet you got it all together for me. That's
most definitely.
She's done that. She's done that actually recently. All the stuff I was doing with Cash Doll.
Yeah, and I was gonna get to that too, but go ahead.
No, yeah, I was doing a bunch of stuff with her, and I had other videos that I had to shoot, the same week. And I'm like, Carmen, I need you to really make sure we have everything together for these videos because I'm gonna be doing this with her, and I'm not gonna have the time to make calls and da da da. And she, man, I got there to the shoot. She had everything together. So it's just dope. Like, she's a blessing, man. She's dope. She's like a little sister. She can get on my nerves, but
right.
She pulls it off every time.
That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Okay, so I assume the level of like being a student of the game. If you could briefly kind of just talk about maybe like the different eras of directing in Detroit. Leading up, because if I'm not mistaken, you came up in the same time as Hustleberry, Jerry production, yourself as well. Is it anybody before you like that you kind of got a lot of game from?
Actually, yeah. Well, like Moolah and all those guys, they were shooting videos too before. TMB, which is BZ, I think they had I don't know what it was. I don't know how they had their thing going on. But the main person I got my inspiration from was this guy named Gerard Victor. Yeah. So he does a lot of stuff with Fab and like Yo Gotti now and stuff. But he was like on his way out of here when I got hit to him. You know what I mean? And the way we actually met on some like chance, on some fluke shit. I went to a show with my girl at the time. And it was just like a local artist. I saw him on Facebook. He could sing good. He was talking about he was going to perform here. I'm like, we should go, And I was just starting, like literally just starting. Like, I think it was just before I had met Vez, so that year. And he ended up going to the table we were sitting at because he knew a girl that was there. He said hi to everybody, introduced himself, but he introduced himself by his first and last name. Which didn't match the stage name that he got, the Gerard Victor.
Right.
So I'm like, no, it's not the same guy, But I'm like, Gerard is such a weird, like, not a weird name, but like, it's not a common name, like, so it's not like it's. I don't want to say unique because I don't want to blow his head up and shit.
No, that's
like,
cool. That's my name too.
But it's like it's not like a name you don't hear often. Sure. So I'm like, it could be the same guy. I don't know, but there's no picture. There was like again, social media wasn't like a huge thing back then. So like even now he rarely has photos of himself. So like I had told my girls, I thought that was a director, Gerard Victor, that I've been watching a lot of his stuff, which I did mold a lot of my earlier videos. Like a lot of my style was derived from what I saw from him. Like, this is dope, I like this. And then I'm nosy as fuck, but I was like listening to his conversation. He was talking about cameras and shit.
He was like, man, that is him.
And I'm like, man, you know what? I went back up to him and talked to him and shit. And I'm like, man, you do like photography and stuff? He's like, yeah, da-da-da. He's like, then he told me, he's like, but I go by Gerard Victor. And I'm like, oh, dude. I was like, I thought, that I had explained it. And he was like, yeah, that's me. And I was like, do you mind if I send some of my work? Again, I didn't have anything. Like, I didn't have none of that stuff with Bass. None of that. I just had like little like, I had like the stuff I did with my little brother's friend. And then I was doing a couple things with some other local like artists. So I was showing him that, and I'm telling you, man, I don't know if anybody else would have took it like the way I took it, but the shit he was saying, I was like, man, anybody would have been discouraged because like he was like being super honest. Like he was like, yo, this is not it, basically. Like,
damn.
But he was also telling me like, you know, maybe try this next time. Da, 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 da.
Which is a good thing too, man.
Yeah, he was definitely.
You gotta in any field that you in, you have to be able to take constructive criticism,
especially
you know
when like, you putting your work, your visual work for the world to see. You know, even with music, I feel like a lot of times people feel like they're sweet already, you know, and it's like, especially when you just started, like you're not sweet.
And then even to give it to him, you know, people that's more established have a more sensitive eye to errors. You know what I mean? So it's like, you could do this, you could do that. He
was definitely tearing my shit apart. Like, pause. He was, I had to say that, he was definitely critiquing the fucking videos, like, to the, like, down. Like, I'm like, damn, like, I'm like, well, all right, fuck it. So I started like doing it, like taking his advice. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this different. You know, and to a point where I just kind of like stopped sending him shit, but he was still watching. I was still sending him stuff here and there, but I think he was still keeping an eye out. And then he actually gave me a chance to shoot an extra scene that he had shot for this Boldy James video. He's like, shoot, you know, and then which we meshed our scenes and his scenes together, but he was like, oh, just you can have the video, and I'm like, all right. So that went on WorldStar, and then the stuff with that. So technically, I guess the Boldy James was the first big video I got.
So that was just a hell of a year for you.
Yeah, no. So, but again, he had directed most of it, so I probably had like it wasn't my full direction, you know.
So was it through him that you eventually yourself had the opportunity to work with Fab?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it was definitely through him. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Because he called me. It was like 2019, like the middle of the summer. It was like, yo, you should move to New York, this and that, da da da. Like just convincing me to move to New York. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm like, fuck it, you know. I'm like, I don't got no kids, none of that shit. So I'm like, well, I could just leave right now. And literally like a week later, I was in Jersey with him. And then I was still had all my stuff here, but I didn't officially move to the East Coast till like at the end of October. So like for a month, I was just kind of like bouncing back and forth. And everything was smooth when I moved out there. And then I got the opportunity to do that shit with Fab, and I'm like, bet. I wrote the treatment. They were messing with it. I'm like, hell yeah.
So you wrote the treatment for that? Dope.
Yeah. That's so
dope. And what song was that for the record? So
for Cold Summer.
Cold.
Yeah, it was the first song. It was basically the intro. It was basically the intro. You know.
Man, you know how big that is.
Yeah, I know.
Bro?
I think it's like 10 million views now.
Damn.
It was. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, so he basically like tasked me and our friend Dre, he was our other roommate. They're like, oh, one of you guys write it, and then whoever I wrote my shit quick as fuck. So fuck it. And I think Dre was just probably like chilling. He's probably wanted to see what I wrote. To give me that chance, because he's doing shit now too with Nicki and shit too. So like, you know, we all kind of like, it was like a powerhouse, literally in the house of like with directors and shit.
That's dope. And I'm sure that got to be fun. But
yeah, it was fun. But the flip side to all this is I shot the video, and then we had to do some extra scenes. We shot that, and then COVID happened. So like, I'm in Jersey and shit, and COVID's like, I'm to shut this shit down.
So you stuck in there. I'm like, damn.
What the fuck? I'm like, they don't know what they're going to do with the video. And then like, you know, I think when the video dropped, they still weren't doing no production. So I'm like, dude, I just dropped one of the biggest video of my career so far.
And arguably one of the biggest, like, records at that time.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Fab, that's like, he was kind of like, resurging at that time, like, and when he dropped that, because Fab don't drop too often that, you know. So yeah, that definitely was.
And then huge. I mean, he's obviously a prominent figure in New York. So I'm like, to me, I'm like, all right, this is my ticket in New York. Like, this is gonna be, everybody's gonna hit me up. And then COVID happened, and it's like, damn,
slowed everything down.
Like, it didn't slow it down. It stopped.
Damn.
It stopped. I was like,
it's a difference.
And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, man, I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, yo. I was just like, I'm like there, you know, just burning money for rent, not making no money because they weren't doing no productions. The labels weren't doing shit.
So how long was you there before you end up coming back?
Around a little bit after my birthday, I would say like the end of April. I had hit up a friend of mine. I'm like, oh, y'all shooting videos over there, bro? Like, cause I need to like get back and make some money and shit. He's like, hell yeah. I was like, fuck it. So I came back. And everybody in Detroit was like, bro, when you coming home? When you coming home? And I'm like, man, what the fuck am I doing here, bro? And I didn't say I didn't want to leave, but I knew if like I can expand myself by going somewhere else, obviously, you know? And I learned a lot out there.
And you did what you was, like you actually did what you was.
Man, look, I learned a lot. I met a lot of cool people. I got to work on different shit. And I was just like, like the whole year, almost the whole year I was there to do a lot of cool shit with different directors and shit like that. So I was soaking up a lot. I'm like, yo, so I could take this back to the crib and just do, you know, which I did. You know, I was like, man, I'm going to change the way I do shit here. And, you know, for a minute, because, you know, all the pandemic money was coming in, I was just like doing running gun shit, like, fuck it. But I was like, how much was you, if you care, to say, how much like roughly was you charging? Oh man.
At that time? You don't have to though. This just,
I wouldn't say, look, I was probably adding an extra like,
we just gonna pause on that.
No, I wasn't. Not everybody though. I wasn't doing that to everybody, but like there were certain, you know, there were certain people. I'm like, I'm like, I know you don't rap, bro.
For sure, like, right. No,
I know you don't rap.
For
so
sure.
I'm like, this is gonna be that one song you just want to spend money on it.
Most definitely.
You know, so whatever I normally would charge at the time, I was adding like $500-600 extra.
But you know what? I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. And the reason why I say that is because one of the things that you don't want to do is waste your time with an artist that's not going to be consistent.
Yeah.
I could work with you if I know that we about to continuously, you know what I mean? So,
100%.
You know, yeah.
There was everybody else that was pretty much charging normal how I would normally charge it. Just, you know, I was just doing it more frequently because, you know, they had more money.
For sure.
I wasn't charging them extra, but there was, like you said, there was a certain people that I'm like, I know you don't rap, bro.
For sure.
You just doing this shit because you got the money to do it, and now you want to, you know, flex. So I'm like, all right,
I'm gonna let you flex.
We'll do this video, but like, you know, and those were probably the videos you probably didn't see me do.
Most definitely.
But like, even at the time, it was still like, it wasn't satisfying to me. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wanted to make money. I love making money, obviously, but I was like, man, this ain't what I want to do. I don't want to do running gun shit. I want to do what I was doing in New York, you know, but here. So I started like switching shit up. I started like figuring out what I could do, pushing these artists to try to do more like conceptual type stuff. It was a battle, man. When I tell you it's a battle, like it was a battle. Like people are like, I don't want to do that. I'm like,
so that is when you kind of shifted a little bit creatively to really, really kind of make these movies that you making right now.
Pretty much at that point, because it was like the money was cool, but I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want to become, you know, just another name. I want to be known for something. You know, I want to be known for pushing the boundaries, pushing the artists past what they would normally think of doing. And I wanted to give our artists here, because I know we have some like great talent here. I was like, I wanted to give them the look like they were signed. You know what I mean? Like,